What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. The 8th of May. We're taking a look here this morning. We're going to look at KASPA, ticker symbol KASPA. This will be the tether pair, so KAS slash USDT. Price data here will be from Coinbase. This will be a daily chart we're looking at here. KASPA has went on a massive run, guys, going back to looks like 2023. Real quick recap here on the coin, and I want to welcome all of the new subscribers to the channel. We had a drawing here, guys, going back, and you can see this thing has ran very big. We've had a double bottom, put in a higher low, and then broke out to the upside. And this thing has overall been trending higher very, very well. From the double bottom breakout, let's call it, like right about there, the 019 level to where we're currently trading. Looks like KASPA has went on to move about a 460% move. Looks like in the days amount, let's see this here. So we'll go right about there. About 329 days, 465%. So massive opportunity if anybody has been holding since back in this time frame, and I'm sure some of you guys have been. So that's all good and great, but what's going on now with KASPA? Let's take a look at current price structure and what I think could play out here in the future for KASPA, at least for starters here. There's no guarantees, of course. So we are pulling back here. We have been trending lower here for a while now. We put in a high. Looks like the highs are 18,955, and we have been basically trending lower ever since, putting in lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. What we have right here is a higher low. Let's highlight this on the chart for you guys to see. We have a higher low so far. Our date on that was the 1st of May. So we have the initial low in place, pulled up, higher low, higher high. We have another higher low. So what we're looking for, again, guys, we talk about this pretty often because I think it's real important, is we want to see these markets from the higher low print a higher high. So that would basically be right around the 13.2 level. We want to see this thing take off from. So that is something to keep your eye on, right around that 13.2. That will give us a higher high. And if that takes place, I think this thing is really going to run and start taking out some more previous highs, like over in here on the 10th of April. That's right around like 15.1. That's an important area to keep an eye on. Also, we have these areas over here. This is about the 18.6. And then this one over here, which is the big daddy, 18.8, 18.9. Something of concern I have looking at this chart here is this wedge up here could just lead to another break lower. So that's possible. What is steering me away from that a little bit is that we haven't undercut the major low yet down here. So yeah, we've traded up higher lows, or higher high, higher low, and so far we haven't taken out those lows yet. But this wedge up here is a concern, but you know, we could see a whole shot to the upside. So I didn't put any lower price support targets down here on the chart. Let me know. I can, if I cover this again in recent times, I will definitely put some price support down there, because if this thing does start to break lower, then we are going to want some support levels down here. But right now, and the reason why I didn't is because so far we have a nice candle here on the 1st of May, and that is a higher low. So we have the original low with the higher low encircled. We started to move up, but we got to get above this like 13.2, 13.3 area. And that'll give us a nice change in trend back to the upside. KASPA has done this in the past. So let's take a look to the left-hand side of the chart, guys. And once again, this is a KuCoin chart. So over here, we have a move down, we have a lower high, we have a higher low, little sideways action, still another higher low, and then the markets took off to the upside like a rocket. We took out the highs over here around 11. We took out the highs over here. Those were around 13. And this thing went on for a massive, massive run. So let's say from the higher high, since that would be the appropriate area, 72% move quickly. But if you notice that, let me clean this chart up real quick. And you have to understand, guys, that I dive pretty deep into the charts. So it's not for everyone. I understand that. And if it's not for you, that's totally fine. Not everybody wants to or needs to or can keep track of the daily charts, buy here, sell there, etc. And I'm not encouraging anybody to do that anyways. It's not financial advice. But every day, the market, these candles on these different charts, KASPA for this one, KASPA, tells us a story. One day could be bullish, the next day could be bearish, the next day could be bullish, and then bullish, and so on. If we zoom in, we're going to look back real quick, and we're going to talk about something real quick here. That's our current. So we have basically, I'm going to call it a rising wedge. Rising wedge, and what we're in right now is a rising wedge, which, what did that do? That broke to the downside. That's why I'm saying I'm concerned that this is going to break to the downside before possibly making a higher move. To our left-hand side of the screen, it did break to the downside, got a little weird here, but then it traded on the opposite direction in this little 3-4 day wedge, and then broke up 72%. So I think, potential move down first, and then maybe we'll see a move back to the upside. One day at a time, though. And basically, we want to make sure we don't undercut this low here, which is at 10.3. That's right here on the chart. We don't want to take out this low. That would not be good, because that's going to tell us that there's a good chance we're heading down to these lows, which are right around like 9.7. So we got to keep a close eye on that for KASPA. I have a couple things I want to talk about to the upside. So I have some big upside targets here for this chart. Okay, now these are just two. There's many more, but these are pretty important ones. But of course, the markets have to, start trending higher for these to even become relevant. So you can have price targets way, way above the market and way, way below the market. That doesn't mean the market's heading there tomorrow or today. That means, when the market gets there, they become, important. And sometimes they can kind of tell you where the market's about to go. These ones are way up here. So there's a lot in between where the market's at now and the highs here. There's price targets all in here. These are when we get the big, big breakout. So for target number one, we have one up there at 19,60196. That's right up here. So that would basically look like you would get this, this bigger wedge down, which would break to the upside. For starters, 196 way, way up here. Now, what would that look like from where we're currently trading? That would be about an 80% move to the upside. 80% move to the upside for target number one. We have another target up there, right up here, guys, at 25543. 25543. That would look like on the percentage calculator that we have here on TradingView, about 130, 31 or so percent from where we're currently trading. Now, these percentages will obviously change as the markets move. They're valid right now at that percentage because, you know, if markets took off like a rocket from where we're currently trading, they would be relevant. I think these markets want to break a little bit lower first before heading higher. Hopefully I'm wrong on that, but it's just going off this little rising wedge we're in here. Looks like the markets, or this style pattern, usually would break lower first before trending higher. And here's some examples. Let me zoom in on this chart, try to clean this up real quick and show you what we're talking about here. So here is an example of a rising wedge here that has broken what? To the downside. Here is another example right here. Wedge to the downside. So that is why my concern is this price wants to go lower first. We just don't want to make new lows on this pattern. That would, not that we don't want to, but that would just indicate to us that this pattern is not done yet. The market's not done making new lows. We just don't know how low we're going to go, and we'll have to fill in some areas of potential support below here. So that's my thoughts on KASPA here this morning. It's interesting to look back on some older videos, some older chart stuff I was doing, where we double bottomed and went on to make a, couple 100% move to where we're currently trading at. So very interesting to keep an eye on some of these things. And you can see, at some point this thing will make its big run again and hit these new targets above the market and so on and so forth. But it looks like we might be heading a little bit lower before heading higher. Guys, let's take a look at Bitcoin for just a moment. Bitcoin down $121. Bitcoin is pulling back here. I'm trying to zoom in for the chart for you guys. Guys, I want to welcome everybody to the channel. All of the new subscribers, thanks guys for joining us here. We have a decent run up for Bitcoin. We have a big reversal that took place over here on the 6th of May. This thing is trying to print a higher low right now. Support 62,206.75 in yellow. This thing could really drop quite a bit lower and still not be in trouble, in my opinion. We just, once again, we don't want to take out our lows over here that were put in on the 1st of May. So, I mean, we could trade all the way down to, we have support at 58,910. I mean, that would be a very big retrace, but it's possible and there's support there. Hopefully it stops somewhere ahead of that and does something like this. So we have the initial low. We did have a higher high here. So hopefully somewhere in here puts a higher low, and then we take off again to a higher high. That'll help all of the market move back to the upside. But right now we're fading, so we'll have to see where we stop. 60,205, 58,910, or maybe where we're trading at right now, which is 62,206 and 3/4, 75 right here. Guys, if you're not yet joined, go ahead and join us here on the channel. Appreciate it. You guys have a great day. Please make your own financial decisions. This is not financial advice. Thanks, guys.